Today I'm again at my pretty local woodland spot, the High Fence. I drove up this morning, a bit late, but as you can see, the conditions are for me still great. We are in the clouds again. Today's video will be about compositions and how you can compose shots in different woodlands, because if you do woodland photography, you know that composition is one of the most difficult parts about it, and give you a few tips on how to compose those different scenarios, because like the compositional rules, you can use them in woodland photography, but I find them sometimes working against you instead of giving you safety and a way to shoot, because these scenes are really complex. And so I'm at this old growth forest at the moment, and it's a part of it because I think they've cut down a lot of it in the past few centuries. And yeah, it's like there are 3 standalone trees, and then you have 3 trees that are a little bit together. And I first was at the other side of the trees looking into the forest, and not now at the roadside, at the side of it. And looking in like this, it gives a lot of more depth than the other one. I will show the other one as well. But here you have the depth of that tree in the background that you don't see. And I really like that a lot. I'll show you on the back of the camera. So as you can see, you have like the tree here in the back. You still see the trunk and one hanging tree, but what I really liked about the tree here on the right hand side is you have still some color lingering on to it. And that's really nice to see, because we're almost in February. Normally you wouldn't see color, but I have 2 splashes of color, the red one here, and then you have this orange one here, and it really complements the green of the other tree. So what I did was the main subject for me is that gnarly tree with the orange tree underneath it, and I tried to put it on a third of the image, because thirds and images are quite nice to see, and also to get everything framed properly, to have everything have its own place. This was the best option for me. I will put. Now I see there is like that tree here in the foreground. I don't really want it in the shot, so what I will do is raise my tripod a little bit. You don't have, you see a little few branches, but that's okay for me. So the green tree is really the subject. It stands out a lot. I forgot my polarizer today, because this would have been a scene where I would have used the polarizer a little bit. And now I just have to wait till a thick cloud comes through, like now, and then take the image. I will show you the other image first, and then this one second, and then you can see the difference between the two. Tell me in the comments which one you would have shot. So I'm still at the same spot that I was in the last video. And there's also a thing you can do when you find a nice composition, which you really like. Usually the elements within that composition can create new compositions. Like I said, I really like the green tree. now I'm just really focused in on the overhanging limb of the tree to the right, and then the other tree I'll show you on the back of the camera. I really like this branch of the tree, or like it's not really, it's the trunk, it's the main trunk, but then these red leaves from that other tree coming into the scene. I'm still at the same location, same spot, but by looking really into the scene, sometimes you can find these other compositions within your composition, but you just have to notice them and take your time to find them. So yeah, here's that shot as well. Forest here. We have a lot of those here in Belgium. Those old growth trees are just behind you, like 50 meters. But they cut down a lot of old growth stuff to make place for these plantations. But yeah, the thing with these plantations is they are straight lines of trees planted, so they are easy to access and also easy to cut down. But and they're easy to cut down. But what I really like to do is look inside these forests for things that are different than the pine trees. For instance, I found this, I don't know what tree it is, but it is growing within the forest. And they're dead now because they don't get enough light because of the pine trees. They got too big, the pine trees. But it's really nice to see this uniformity of all these pine trees and then something different within that scene. So I'll show you in the back of the camera. So what I found was this. I have I have this collection of these trees in the middle of the frame. And why did I put them in the middle? Because they're different. The rest is the same. All the trees are the same. But then you have these weird, gnarly trees growing within the uniformity of this scene. So what I really like to do is, you can see it here and here, I put two trees on each side of the frame to create a natural frame. I do this a lot in woodland photography just to lead the eye into the image. I'm not too keen on the tree here in the foreground, but I will take the shot a lot darker because the trees in the middle are really lit up by the sky because there is no extra cover over them because there is no pine tree close to them to hide them from the light. So yeah, then you get this ominous, ethereal, like going to heaven. I don't know, and the tree is going to heaven. Feel to it. So yeah, the thing is, within these pine forests, look for something different that is really out of place to give it this feeling of, okay, there's uniformity, but there's also other things than just the pine trees. And if you really just want to shoot the pine trees, because the repeating patterns can be nice as well, try to shoot them at an angle that you don't see the lines. It's more interesting and it gives it more depth, feeling of depth, than it would if you just would shoot it straight on with the rose. So yeah, gonna shoot the shot. Then I'm gonna move a little bit to the side of the forest because there is another tip that I want to give you there. And I see a really old pine tree. There's also that, but I will take that image as well. It's kind of the same idea as this one, but those two shots will come, and then I will see you back a little further down the road for the next tip. I'm at the edge of the forest now. Why do I like this part of the forest a lot is because of the light. Usually the two sides of the forest or the outsides of the forest have this light shining in, and then you have this really nice contrast between dark and light. Also on the other side there's usually some other kind of trees or younger trees. Like in this scene you have these big old pine trees here on the right hand side, but then on the left hand side with light bathing them are these younger pine trees, really small, goes from really small to like a meter or 5-6, so they're getting pretty big, but these where I'm standing under, they're like 30 meters high, so in comparison they're really small. And you can see the trees that are more into the forest, they are really dark, but it kind of creates a gradient, because how more you go to the side, the more light comes in, and if you look at this tree particularly, it gets this side light really nicely. So yeah, pretty simple shot. I like the contrast with the light. I like the contrast between old trees, young trees. It's really nice. I chose to give the young trees more room, like 2/3 of the image, and I gave the older trees a smaller part because there's more happening within the young trees than there is happening within the old trees, and in this case I really like it. They're also they're all uniform. They're all pine trees, so I just like to do that kind of stuff. If I would zoom out a little bit more, it might be even better. Something like this it will be. So yeah, I will show this shot and then a few other shots with some nice side lit areas of the forest. So here are those shots. So the last thing I want to talk about today are lone trees. And you would think, well, it's just a picture of or an image of a tree, but I think it's just as difficult as any other image to compose. I even put more effort in the details with these shots than I do with like forest shots. In a thick forest there will be things creeping in left and right, and you try to eliminate them as good as you can. But here, it's just a tree, and because it's just a tree, the background, foreground, they carry a lot of more of the load of the image. And I will show you what I mean, because I think it's better to visualize it. So I framed up this tree with there's a clearing in the back of the bushes, and it gives the tree a little bit more room to breathe. But if I step over like 2 meters, you see that the tree is behind, in front of all these dark bushes. Really important for these shots. So take your time for lone trees, I would say. Look at the environment that they are in and try to give them the right spot. I tend to go for like smack dab in the middle because the tree is the main focus. But whenever you have other carrying elements in the image, it's maybe good to put it on a third or give it a little bit more room on left or right. So that's something you have to decide yourself. So I'll take this shot and a few other shots that I've seen when I was walking to the forest this morning, and I will show you those shots. So that will be it for today. If there's one thing that I try to make clear is like the compositional rules. Shouldn't be called rules. It's nice to have them when you start photography because it gives you kind of a guideline what good images can. It kind of gives you a guideline of rules or maybe suggestions on what a good image should be. But I've noticed how longer I take pictures, the less I think about these rules. But the rule of if it looks good in my eye becomes way more important than these compositional rules. So that will be it for the photography today. I'm just going a little bit more up the hill to the visitor center here because a guy I know has a exposition of images taken here in the area at the visitor center. So yeah, if you're around, go and visit Samuel's work. If you're in the area, go check that out. And I hope to see you in the next video. Give me a like, thumbs up, subscribe, hit the bell thing. And I hope to see you next time. Thank you for watching and bye.